Hi, how are you doing? This is Millie Gold Kubaka with It Is Time with MK. And I just want to say thank you so much for always tuning in. If you're new, welcome to the family. And if you're coming back and you've subscribed already, thank you so much for trusting us and always just coming back. I don't take it for granted. Now, I just want to tell you, if you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe. And as the conversation is going on, just leave a comment what you're learning, and it's just going to be fun. Today we're just going to have just a laughing story, trust me. And I've been dealing with healing mostly. Today I just want to talk about strength. And well, it's just going to be funny. Just stay tuned as we go into this story. Now, some of you know that I am a pastor at New Bridge City Chapel, but above that, I am married to also a pastor. So my story is going to revolve around that, being a pastor married to a pastor. So it's a very interesting thing, or an interesting conversation. Now, before I got married to my husband, we were both pastors. And now the funny thing about this story is we were both pastors, and I felt I felt that him being a pastor and me being my pastor, "Hey, please, you do your pastoral, I'm going to do my pastoral. We are both called." Well, it is true that we are both called, but I'm also called to be a submissive wife. Now, get this. I'm married to him. No, this time I'm not yet married to him. And our bishop, Bishop Eric Mwangi, New Bridge City Chapel, by the way, welcome to our church, sent us for an assignment in Ruiru. Now, this time we're going as people that are dating. And then my husband um, goes ahead and maybe he's praying for people, he's ministering to people. And guess what? Because I am also Pastor Millie, oh my God, this is just funny. Because I'm also Pastor Millie, I'm also going ahead ministering to people. I know you may not. Okay, let me try and paint this picture to you. So he's busy ministering to people as directed by God. And me, I feel like, okay, so I'm also called. And I feel like God has led me to this person. I'm also going there to minister. So to him, he's quite confused. Like, okay, I know you're also called, but what's going on? There's this confusion. So I did it for like I don't know, a number of fellowships, and then one day he just called me and was like, "Okay, babe, do you see our mother in the faith doing the same when Bishop is when Bishop is ministering? Do you see him also? Do you see her also walking around trying to minister to people unless Bishop calls?" And I was like, okay, at first I felt offended because I was like, I'm also a pastor and also God speaks to me. So what's up? Submission was being tested at this point. And then one time, this woman of God was teaching us, and she was telling us that, you know what, if you are going to submit to your husband as a pastor as well, you're supposed to submit your giftings as well. It's not making you any weak, it's just creating order. Let the husband bring you in when he feels like you have something to say, or you can just whisper to him about something. Let there be order, not you trying to lay hands and him trying to do this. Oh, well, the disorder was crazy. So that was just my experience first as being a pastor, dating a pastor. It was just crazy. And then one time, we're just coming, I don't know where, we were coming from somewhere, and we alighted a bus. And then I saw another woman run towards him, like, and then she was just calling him, pastor, pastor, pastor. And I was like, okay, who's calling? Then this lady, she was well dressed and all collected, looking all good. And she was like, Pastor, I know you might not remember me, but the lady you prayed for at the stage, I think she was a cobbler or something, or she was selling shoes. I don't know, but it was something related to shoes. And then she was like, you prayed for me and you prophesied saying that God is going to lift me. Doors are going to open up. I am that woman. So my husband, oh my God, it is you. Like the difference was clear. You could even tell from their facial expression. Like my husband at that time, my boyfriend, he was like, wait, what? It's you. I could tell like there was a difference from how he saw him there. I mean, saw her then and now. And then she was like, yeah, you prophesied to me and you said this and you said this and that, and it has happened now. I work with the government and all. Like she really looked good. But you see, for me, I didn't see the behind. I didn't see before, but I picked there was something great. Now I told myself, wait, every other person is getting prophesied to and things are happening. I will be very foolish to think that I'm going to date this same man and just be a woman that is giving him food and babies and all that and not receive what he has. So all I'm going to get is just a husband and not the anointed man of God. Like I sleep with him on the same bed and all that, but I'm not going to receive the same grace that he has. That's when I made that turn and I was like, I need to honor this man. I need to see him differently. It got to a point I would even tithe in his life as a man of God, not just as my husband yet. So that changed my perspective on how to look at things. And then I started desiring to know how other women of God honor their husband so that you're not familiar, because you see the weakness of these men and they see your weaknesses. It's so easy for you to get familiar. So I started looking and asking questions. And I remember asking my mother in the faith, Rev Vicky Mwangi, and I asked her, Mom, how do you do it? How do you stay calm? Because you're still a woman of God. You're very powerful. But how do you stay still and allow all this happen? And she said, when that man of God, now our bishop, when our bishop goes to the altar, she doesn't see him as her husband. She sees him as a man of God. And it will be so sad that other people at the back are raising their hand and receiving, and all that, whatever that is being released, bypasses how he's sitting just next to the altar and goes and all the way to the person that is receiving at the back. She says it has to start with her. And she normally tells us that she is the first person that needs to show honor to the husband before every other Mshirika does that. So I felt that was really powerful. And then another woman of God that I really admire, Pastor Mildred Okonkwo, she normally says that you as a woman, when you talk about submission, you are saying, I have all this power in me, but I'm the one choosing who to submit to. I don't know, like you are choosing who to go under. So when you're choosing a spouse, if you're struggling to submit, then you're the problem, because you're the one who is supposed to say, I am getting married to this person because I can submit under this person. Because you've seen the strength, you've seen who they are, and you admire what they have and just who they are. You can put the whole thing about you under them. That's why many women struggle with submission, because when you're choosing a husband for yourself, you're not even choosing a man that you can submit under. You get. And another thing that also helped me transition in this chaos that I had in my mind, my spirit, and all that, was something that our Rev Vicky, my mother in the faith, said in one of our Rainbow conferences. It's a women interdenom conference. She said that the reason as to why we're struggling with submission is because we are struggling to be in an area where we're not supposed to dominate in. And she gave this example. She gave an example of a fish and a man. A man, I mean both women and men. And she said, when a fish is in the water, the fish is in its territory, can survive very well. When a man is on land, he or her is in their territory and they survive very well. A man can go under the water and do the snorkeling and all those things, but he can't live there. It's only for a short time. A fish can come out of the water, the body mass, and come to land, but for a while, it will start losing air and die. So this is how she was explaining it to us. She said, when you're in a territory, you do better than when you're in another person's territory. So in this case, let's say you are the fish and he is the man, or you're the man and he is the fish. If you are in your territory, you flourish. But if you try to go into another man's territory, into another person's territory, you struggle because that is not your area. Now, uh, if I try to be the head, all the things that affect the heads, it's going to affect me. And I'm not built for that. I can be a leader, yes, it can be a head, but does not mean that I need to defy order for me to get what I want. No, it's just me being in my position and flourishing in my position as a wife and as a pastor, but under submission, and him being the head and flourishing in that area as a husband and as the head. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So that was the struggle. Like, wait, I am also a pastor. Please, I can also lay hands and I also hear God. Please, pull down, hold. Unless God has called you like the Joyce Myers, who the husband is not directly involved with ministry. He's not at the pulpit, but he's really backing her up. Please stop competing with your spouse or your husband who's also a pastor. That's just for me. I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. Now, uh, that happened, and then I came to realize I needed to balance all these hats that I'm wearing and still do good. I don't know how to put it. So this is what happened. I'm a pastor, yes. I'm a wife now, yes. And also, I'm a mother. Now, this is the tricky part. I wondered, how then am I supposed to balance all these and still be good at what I'm doing? And I remember I once asked this woman of God, and I asked her, so how do you balance? How are you good at what you do? Like, how do you do it? And she said, the trick is, don't give 50-50 at any point. Okay, now we're going to use this analogy. When you are a wife, be a wife, not a pastor. Don't come saying your husband is trying to hold you and be all lovey-dovey and all that, and you come trying to say, thou says the Lord. Please stop that. When you're a wife, be a wife to your husband. When you're supposed to be a mother, be 100% a mom to your children. When you're there out ministering to people, be a pastor. Stop being a wife to every other person. You are a pastor at that time. That's how you get to balance as a woman of God or as a wife uh, that is also called in ministry. You get, yeah. So that was one of the challenges that I experienced as a pastor, who's also a wife to a pastor, trying to also feel like, oh, my husband, I'm also called. Oh my God, I just laugh about it because how can I even think like that? But anyway, we know better to learn better. So yeah, that's mainly the story I wanted to share as a pastor who is also a pastor's wife. Oh yeah, and another thing is there's this thing of us feeling like maybe your husband is going out too much and preaching too much out there and receiving a lot of calls and all those things. But I came to understand one thing, and I learned this also from another woman of God. She keeps telling me that she placed her husband at the altar as an offering. And I felt that was really powerful so that I don't struggle, because my husband right now is a servant of God. yes, and I know there's that place of him being my husband, but I need to understand that God called him for an assignment. So, and we have this relationship with my husband where if he's receiving a call from Shirika, he can like, hey, this is a call from Shirika, need to pick, and he excuses himself, and it makes it easy. Or he has to go see someone, he communicates, and at least I know he has gone maybe to see someone, he has gone to minister to someone, or to pray with someone, or to see someone. Because in our church we do something called PVCI, where we say you pray with someone, you visit someone, you counsel someone, and uh, you, no, you pray, you visit, you counsel. What is the I? Well, I'll put it there. So he does that. He goes and visits people, he prays with people. And yeah, I get to understand his assignment. I don't try to be a rival in his assignment. I don't try to be the person that is, I'm not like fighting for his attention with God. Like when God is on this other, it's like I'm trying to fight for him, and God is also trying. No, 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 I'm not on that fight with God. So I came to understand God wants him to do something, and God is not selfish for him to take him away fully and not focus on his family. No. So him, he's a servant of God. He's supposed to go out there and do his assignment. And as he's out there, God is taking care of us. So I'm okay with that. you know so yeah, that, well, at first it was like, hey, these calls are too many, but again I was like, I'm not the one that called him, God did. And every time he received those calls or prayed for someone, there's always a testimony. Yeah. So I came to understand his assignment and his work, and I allowed him to be a pastor to many, and a husband to me, as also as a pastor to me. Okay. So stop struggling with that. And I just maybe shared that just to show you that it takes a strong woman to submit. Yeah, that's the whole essence of this video, where the strength thing is coming from. It takes a strong woman to submit. Because I love what my husband says. You are really strong. And especially he was putting it from a prophetic point. You're a strong person if you have the power like Elijah to cool the fire down, but you instead hold on it. You don't release the fire. You are a strong person. So for every woman pastor that is out there, that is able to submit, that is able to support the husband, eh, yeah, you're a strong woman. Yeah, strength had to come one or another in my life for me to stand and sit down and wait for instructions. Yeah, so yeah, that's my story about being a pastor who is also a pastor's wife. And I'm really curious to hear your story about, and especially if you're a pastor or just a woman that is married to a man that is on another level. Even if you're married and you're not a pastor, but your husband is a pastor or is in ministry, I'm curious. You can share your story on the comment box. Let's hear what you struggled with, and especially how have you come out strong. Yeah, for me, I've come out strong. I don't struggle. I can sit down and allow him preach from January 1st to December 31st, and I'm okay sitting down, listening and receiving, looking all pretty, and just receiving from the man of God. Yeah, so don't miss out on the grace your husband has or have. Just make sure that you get to know what your man of God carries, so that other people don't receive what he carries and you miss out on what he carries. Okay, so we'll share more stories as the Lord helps us. And yeah, more amazing conversations coming in on healing, on strength, on restoration, and just amazing conversations. Let's keep connecting, share with a friend, And especially if your friend is struggling with submission, yeah, we're going to talk more about this as the Lord leads. But thank you so much for tuning in always. Thank you for coming every now and then that we have these conversations. As soon as we upload, you always join in. Thank you. If you've not subscribed, please do so. And if you've not hit that notification bell, please do so so that you can get notified as soon as we upload a video. Leave a comment. Let it be interactive so that I get to hear your views. I get to get your mind. And this will also tell us what you want us to speak about, you know. It's never just on one side. You too that is taking time. You have a part to contribute on what to speak about. So thank you so much. Always stay tuned and God bless you. Bye.